Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the We All Juggle Knives channel. Welcome to my review of this blade. This is the CRKT Kuk. Yes, Kuk is in Kukri. But I've heard that that word means something a lot different in Swedish. Something dirty. Okay, well, my 10.5-inch Kuk, it's pretty awesome. I whacked it against some wood later in the video. You can see that. Alright, the price tag on this, around $45 currently on Amazon. I'll include an Amazon link if you want to pick one up. But as I said, blade length, technically it's 10.56 inches. The steel is 65 MN, a mid-carbon steel. It's got the black powder coat. This was designed by Ryan Johnson, who also designed all those tomahawks there for CRKT. Now that is Ryan Johnson of RMJ, and that's a good company in itself. Check them out. But anything designed by Ryan Johnson and RMJ, it's definitely worth at least taking a look at. I definitely recommend all three of those tomahawks, and I will include Amazon links if you want to pick up those, and you can check out my previous reviews. You know, a lot of people will buy budget folders from CRKT, but to be honest with you, for that company, the best values are usually their tomahawks and their machetes. Just my opinion. Here's the sheath. Alright, they listed this as polyester. Sounds good to me. It's got the belt loops. There's Velcro on that middle strap there, as you see. Alright, it's got two retaining straps with button closures, and it holds it very securely. It's semi-open on the top, right, and pull your Kuk up and out. And there you go. So I would say it is a typical machete quality light sheath. Light but effective. What can you use this for? Well, you can use it for trimming vegetation or clearing a path through vegetation. This is the bush of machete testing. It's a very fast growing piece of vegetation, so that's why I use it. I'm not trying to cut a full path through it though. So I'm just, well, you get the idea. This thing can cut soft vegetation extremely well. Right, and notice the sickle effect of the inner curve there, channeling material to be cut. Now this is not meant to be an authentic reproduction of a kukri. It's more like a machete that's inspired by kukris. So people wondering or even complaining that it's not authentic, or it's not like a real Nepalese kukri, it's not intended to be. It's just inspired by mainly the shape, right? So the construction, the thickness, the geometry could all differ. Alright, there I'm just showing you, in case you didn't see, the clean and easy cuts with soft vegetation. Now if you look at the advertising and the listing for this on Amazon, they say it can be used as a survival knife with, I think they said something like high quality survival techniques. Okay, well, I'm going to show you some low quality ones, but we shall see. That sounds like a challenge, a survival knife, eh? Well, if you need a survival knife, you might be building traps and shelters. So here's a notch which you could fit together with another notch and build traps and so forth. Now let's talk about the steel, 65 MN. Well, from what I've been told, that is a Chinese mid-carbon steel, so I would assume that that makes it kind of equivalent to 1065 mid-carbon. It's used in many machetes by both CRKT and Kershaw, and it's done well in all those, including the Kershaw Camp 10. Here's more vaguely survival stuff. That's not sped up, by the way. I drank a lot of coffee. You know, trying to cut down. Now here we're making a spike. Just imagine it's longer, so that it would be a spear. Hey, I don't know, you say it's a survival knife? Alright, I gotta hunt boars on some tropical island, make barbecue. How is this really at the, these tasks? You know, it would have been a lot easier to carve with just a Mora knife, and the same with making the notch. It would have been easier just with a more conventional bushcraft knife. However, this is good at clearing vegetation, so longer blades like this do have their uses. Okay, next up, batoning. Splitting some wood. This is also just a test of the durability of the blade. Alright, and sorry for the trucks in the background. That's the recycling truck Yeah, saving the Earth, but what about the noise pollution of the truck that they haven't oiled in 10 years? Am I bitter? There's airplanes too. They fly them over my house just to ruin my review. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not that paranoid yet. Alright, so it's making some kindling, which is a wonderful, crucial survival task. If you can't do that, you're gonna die. No, I'm just kidding. Not really, but it's an easy thing to show. You know, because of the shape of it, how the spine is straight, then it dips down because the Kukri has a recurve, so it has to be shaped that way. You know, it's not the easiest thing to get a square hit on while batoning, but of course, you can make do. Ah, here's a survival-y thing. You can dig with this because, you know, it's a relatively wide blade. You can dig. This is what's underneath the stump of truth, or the log of truth now. What is that? Dinner. No. I'm not going to eat that. Survival Lily did a video where she ate something like that. But, you know, I'm not nearly as hardcore. But don't worry, it won't go to waste. The birds, we have a lot of birds, and they will definitely eat that disgusting thing. But yeah, one use of the wide blade, you can dig. Alright, just cutting up some yard debris, rotten little twig that fell down. That was just the warm-up. Here's a larger branch. This is what you would want to use a hatchet for. You know, a lighter machete, not really good for this, but it is a good test. Alright, this thing weighs under a pound. It weighs 14 ounces and some change. I'm not sure if that includes the sheath or not, but yeah, this weighs under a pound, so, you know, it can be used as a hatchet if you had to. See, when they say the word survival, to me that means, okay, you're stuck somewhere with just this, right? So, yeah, it would be like a usable but not very efficient hatchet replacement. And I got sick of it and just broke the rest. But I think the main thing about this is that, you know, it's kind of a jack of all trades. It can do a lot of different tasks, but it might not be as good as a knife at some of the finer work. Here we are just smashing it against the log of truth. There's no purpose to this other than to make sure that it doesn't break or that the edge doesn't roll or other tomfoolery such as that. Alright, so overall, you know, I gotta say, this thing is pretty good for $45, and I would expect that it might get even less expensive, but it's standing up to a bashing, and wow, my shadow looks big. I'm intimidated by my shadow. It could kick my ass. Alright, here's a close-up of what it actually does to the log. Given enough time and proper wind conditions, you probably could go through the whole log, but why would you want to? Alright, and just so as you know, the edge was fine after this. Alright, final thoughts on this. You know, the biggest problem with this is just the competition. There's so many, every company now has something like this. Condor, OKC, K-Bar, Cold Steel, they all have something in this category. So, but this is pretty good. I mean, some are heavier and thicker. It really depends what you want to chop, like which ones to go for. I will include links to this, but also to all of the competitors, and you can kind of compare their weights and their thicknesses and their steels and, you know, discern which is right for your needs. But in and of itself, I was fairly impressed by this. I mean, it gives you a lot of blade for reasonable price. Well, alright, YouTube, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Check out those links. They do support the channel, and I definitely need your support and appreciate it. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.